Say good morning. We're all here now. If you haven't turned your phones off or put them on silent, please do so. If you need a program, we have some. There's a gentleman holding one up. We'll be happy to hand it out to you. If you've been here in the past, the programs are not a whole lot different organizing from the prior years, but we have some extra guests today that I'll introduce here in a minute. So while we get started, please present the flag.
It's all good. Done. What happened? But where? Every day, come in and triple five. Mayor, and here. What was it? We could.
So first I want to introduce some of our guest speakers. Mayor Peter Land.
Over here.
Oh, over there.
Yes, I can.
Where are you?
Hey.
Mr. William Taylor's going to talk again today. Pastor Macklemore. And our newly re-elected Frank Marban. We also have the fourth grade class from Timothy Ball School.
Hey. Love the kids.
Helping us with the flags today is Crown Point's very own Sea Cadets. And I want to thank also all of our many volunteers that helped put this show on today. So some of these words you've heard me say before. My name is Kevin Dvorak. I'm the 89th commander of the American Legion Post 20 and a 10-year disabled Navy veteran. Today, November 11th, marks 70 years of celebrating Veterans Day. Coincidentally, this year, American Legion Post 20 building also had its 70th birthday.
Sorry, God.
Since the creation of Veterans Day in 1954, we have sent millions of men and women to war, not to mention countless civilians and a host of support activities. Every day, many of our youth continue to volunteer in answering this call to ensure America stands ready to defend its national security, our freedom, and interests around the world. How many others will raise their hand in service to our nation over the next 70 years? How will they be called to defend our nation? How much will they and their families sacrifice in doing so? Those are questions we can imagine, but we can't possibly answer. I encourage you to join me in paying tribute to the generation who have courageously served in our nation's military and their families who have stood by their side. We know freedom is not free. It is paid for with sacrifice, selflessness, blood, sweat, and tears of those who served in the armed forces, both in the past and in the future. The debt we owe veterans in return for their sacrifice is far too great to ever repay. Because of veterans, we enjoy peace of mind and unparalleled freedom. We're fortunate to count thousands of veterans as our colleagues and friends. Many of them are here today. If you could raise your hand if you're a veteran. We could vote for peace foster it and advocate for it, but we cannot stop the wheels of war. We can pray for every man and woman to return from service healthy and uninjured, but we cannot guarantee it. The defense of our freedoms and ideal is an ugly business. The scars of war and service are everlasting. I will suggest every man and woman who has been in the line of fire has changed forever. For some, the scars run deep. I had stood up here before and mentioned the walking wounded. The number of our walking wounded increases every day. The American Legion's mission and purpose has a number of goals. We strive to empower veterans to lead high-quality lives with respect and dignity. In the American Legion, we also have the Sons and the Auxiliary, which are extensions of our volunteer workforce. Together, we are dedicated to bettering the lives of veterans and our community. We fulfill our mission through a variety of programs and services that provide comprehensive, lifelong support, including VA benefit assistance, employment resources, caregiver aid, and legislative advocacy, to name a few of the things we do. What's particularly special about the work we do that it isn't just for veterans and their family. It's done in large part by volunteer veterans and their families. To those veterans here today, thank you. To the mothers and fathers, spouses and children of our military men and women, thank you. And for all those who show your gratitude through action, thank you. On this Veterans Day, please join me in expressing our deep gratitude to those who serve our country and those who continue to serve. In a world where threats against our country and citizens arise constantly, you put our safety above your own and sacrifice time away from your own families and communities to protect us and our loved ones. Please take time to express your appreciation to those who have served and continue to serve. Their strength and resilience define our nation and ensure the freedoms we hold dear. So now we're going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Greg Fosenbus from the American Legion. Okay.
I endow it, uncover, the hand on your heart, follow with me. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great.
You need to cover them. Yeah. Oh. You can recover. Now we're gonna be entertained by Timothy Ball. Then start Spangled Banner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Great. It's wonderful.
Thank you. That was Timothy Ball, fourth grader, led by their music specialist, Tilly Wall. Now, I'd like to welcome our very own mayor, Mr. Steerling. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. I am blessed that it's my honor to be standing here today as a Marathon Point. But even more important, I am standing here today as a grateful American. And I know I represent so many grateful Americans who did not have the honor of speaking with their heroes on Veterans Day. I represent grateful Americans who wish they could reach out and thank each one of you personally. Thank you. The word we say all of the time. Sometimes we don't even think about it. But this word can offer emotion, appreciation, and gratitude. This happens when we put action behind these words. It happens when we say thank you, when looking into someone's eyes, and we say these words from our heart. It happens when we say it because we mean it. And it happens when we let our hearts speak it. To all of our veterans, young and old, currently in the military or long since removed from the service, a thank you is a recognition to them that all they have sacrificed, all their families have sacrificed, is appreciated and it's not forgotten. Ceremonies like the one here today are so important to honor and recognize our veterans. But our gratitude ought to be more than during the ceremony. We honor these men and women most by living well. We honor them by doing our part to take care of each other, to take care of our community, and take care of our country. To the American Legion Post 20, our veterans here today, and those that are not, on behalf of the city of Sherwood Point and all of grateful citizens, I say thank you. And I'd like to congratulate Congressman Frank Morvan on being reelected as your representative. He's going to say a few words. Thank you. I first want to thank Commander Kevin DeBoer from the American Legion for bringing us together, Mayor Lance for bringing us together along with all the city council, city officials, the staff, all the volunteers that made this an important day. I also, to our left, think it's important to recognize and thank the teachers of Timothy Ball who were able to prepare the students for this Veterans Day, and through that process, explain to them the value of veterans and what they mean to our country. Please give them another round of applause for being here in the fight. On Veterans Day, it's so vitally important, as Mayor Land mentioned, to make sure that we thank the veterans. And those words are so vitally important, and I think it's very valuable as we go forward, understanding how grateful I am that this day follows the election day. It was brought up, and all that I'm bringing it up for is because the unification of our country, understanding that people come together because we love our values. We love the freedom of religion, we love the freedom of press, we love the values that our country stands for to make sure that no one is oppressed. And so today's a day of unification and making sure we all understand that united we are much stronger than we are divided. To the veterans, men and women who put on the uniform, there are 40,000 of you within Northwest Indiana who have made a sacrifice and put yourselves in harm's way in order for us to have those freedoms. I, of course, want to thank you, but more importantly, how as a member of Congress are we able to do that? As a member of Congress, not just saying thank you, but we did pass something that was called Honor the Pact Act. The Honor the Pact Act allows for veterans who served in Afghanistan and Iraq who had exposed to fire kits to be able to have deductible health care. Over 1 million veterans, men and women, have been able to achieve new benefits through that Honor the Pact Act.
Going back to also for veterans who served during Vietnam, who had exposure to Agent Orange, it gives them presumptive healthcare benefits. And World War II, it gives them presumptive benefits to radiation. And so making sure that we take care of those veterans, and with that, if you are able and you are a veteran who serves, and you receive an increase in service-connected disability, if you get to 100%, now your spouse is eligible for benefits. That's how our nation's safety is. And as a member of Congress, we passed 4 pieces of legislation that honor our women veterans to make sure that there are procedures in place if they've gone through hard times at the VA. And more importantly, being able to understand and listen to the veteran service organizations. Just recently, I sat down and talked to a daughter of a World War II veteran who goes to the Adventist Center here in Crown Point, but has to go to Chicago for an MRI or for another test. She pleaded with me to be able to find a resource to make sure we could have CAT scan and MRI here in Northwest Indiana, so our veterans don't have to travel 3 hours going back and forth. That's how we thank you. And so to the 4th graders, you know, we are going to have a speaker who is an author of a book who served in Vietnam and is a Purple Heart recipient. And even myself had to refresh my mind and myself what it means to receive a Purple Heart. It's one of our highest honors in our country. Those who have been in contest or in battle who have shown great valor and service to others in order for those battles. So all those individuals who have received the Purple Heart, please raise your hands so we can honor them. Please give them a round of applause. With that, I thank every service man and woman who provided their efforts for our country. God bless the United States. God bless America. And thank you for what you have done. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're going to hear from William Taylor, the author of On Full Automatic. Bill probably needs no introduction. If you were at one of our previous Memorial Day ceremony, you did a great job talking there. I invited him back to talk to you all again here today. So, Mr. Bill Taylor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin, and distinguished guests. I just want to let you know I'm very proud to be here among all you wonderful people. I see a lot of great veterans out there. Raise your hands if you're a veteran. Congratulations, you're great for this America. You know, you might ask yourself, well, why is Bill Taylor up here? Why is he talking to us today? What does he have to say? And I know I don't want to make this boring, so I really went into myself and I said, I want to be able to explain about veterans and understand where we're all coming from. So as a combat-hardened Marine in a special landing force, we fought 27 operations. In that 27 operations in 13 months, I received 3 Purple Hearts, the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry, and 2 Presidential Unit Citations. But there are other people out there that have done just as well, if not even better than me. But a lot of us, we don't want to talk about it because it's so hard inside. And that's why I wrote the book On Full Automatic. I wanted everybody to know what this country and what people had to do in order to fight for America. And it's healing a lot of veterans right now. But I want to tell the story. I want to tell the story what inspired me to write this incredible book. And what did it was, I remember when I first came home, I became an insurance man and I won a trip. And the trip was to one of the cities in America, and they had a keynote speaker that was, he was to motivate people to be able to sell more insurance. So I thought, okay, I'll look at the guy, and here he was a lieutenant in the Navy. Here this combat Marine is going, what can a Navy guy tell me? And so I'm sitting there in the audience, and he gets up there and he says, my name is Lieutenant Coffee. And I was in a jet airplane flying over North Vietnam when my plane was hit with anti-aircraft fire, and I lost all the hydraulics. He said, I turned my plane fast towards the ocean, but I couldn't make it. And me and my co-pilot, we had to bail out, and in that bailing out, I dislocated my right shoulder and got a concussion. He said, I got on the ground and both of us were captured immediately. And we were taken off and we were beaten. And he said, all of a sudden the American jets and helicopters were overhead and they came in and one of them was strafing all the enemy and killed the co-pilot. He said, I want to talk about what happened to me at the Hanoi Hilton. So he started talking about this unbelievable journey of 7 years of what he had to go through, of starvation and beatings and constant pain and suffering. And I was there in awe. Changed my life watching him. So from then, I went to, became a member of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Now, you have to be a wounded veteran in order to be a member of that organization. So I wanted to talk to the different people, and I started getting in, and I met Wendell Lowe, and he was on Peleliu. He told me how he was in the trenches at Peleliu and how he fought and how he was wounded, how he was carried out of there. And I talked to Iwo Jima vet, and I'm going, my gosh, I'm in the midst of heroes. I talked to another guy, Harold Jenkins. Harold Jenkins, he's just like the people here in the crowd, just a regular person. And I started talking to him, and he says, yeah, Bill, he says, I was in World War II. I was in New Guinea, and I ended up getting malaria, and I got wounded, and I eventually got out. But all of a sudden, I stayed in, and the Korean War came, and I decided to stay in and fight in the Korean War. And he said, I was wounded in Korea. And I'm going, oh my gosh, this guy fought in 2 wars. Then he said, oh yeah, by the way, I was also fought in Vietnam. Now here's a man who had 3 Purple Hearts out of it. He fought in 3 different wars, and he's just a regular person, just like the people standing out here. That wasn't the end of my journey at the Purple Heart. We had this big dinner. It was the George Washington dinner, and in regards to the Purple Heart. And so who was attending? You're not gonna believe this. 2 World War veterans. They were in their 90s. One of them fought at the Somme, the Battle of the Somme, and he was wounded by artillery. He didn't want to talk about it too much. It still affected him. But then I talked to the other guy, and he fought in the Battle of the Argonne. And he was a guy that went from trench to trench, giving messages and back and forth. And he told me, I mean, I'm so shocked to listen to this guy about what his service was to this country. And what it was is he had to deliver a message to another company, and the machine gun fire was like incredible. He said, I was dodging, and all of a sudden they shot me in the leg. And then he crawled all the way back and made it to deliver the message. He never got an award and never got anything for it, but he said, I am very proud to have served this country. Well, my journey didn't end there. I continued to get more and more involved. I got involved with the Vietnam Veterans Center to help veterans with their lives and help them process out of Vietnam. And then I remember I started joining other organizations, American Legion Post 20, and also the DAV in Hammond, Indiana. And these organizations really try to help veterans, especially as Congressman Mervin had said, that the PACT Act really did help a lot of people, and the American Legion and the DAV also did that. Well, as a member of the DAV, we saw a veteran. He was in Afghanistan, and he got blown up. And we found out that he didn't have a lot of money, and he had to have constant treatment because he had no legs, he had 1 arm gone, and all he had was a half of an arm with a hook. And his wife had to help him and assist him to go all across the country and all these different surgeries. They raised $250,000 for that wife and family. I think these are incredible, incredible things that we do for our veterans, and that's what we're all about in the different organizations, is trying to help all these veterans. Now, it doesn't end there. So I belong to the 3rd Marine Division Association. I'm the secretary of it. Also, I'm the president of the 1st Battalion, 3rd Marine chapter of the 3rd Marine Division. And we had this big dinner. at the end of one of the reunions. And Barney Bynum, some of you may know who he is. He won the Congressional Medal of Honor, and he talked about what happened to him in Vietnam. And I'm just blown away by all these different people that God has given me to be able to share with all of you. And Barney Bynum, he was an observer. He was the one, the observer that would call in airstrikes and artillery. He was with 2nd Battalion, 9th Marines in 1966, and the North Vietnamese had overwhelmed them and had come and completely annihilated. Every single officer was either wounded or killed. There was all kinds of casualties. And he realized he was the commanding officer, and he took charge, and he started calling in airstrikes. And after all the airstrikes had totally decimated the North Vietnamese, they started to retreat, and he regrouped that entire battalion, and they charged, and they kicked them right out of the DMZ. And that's the determination that our veterans have. I want to thank you all for being here. I wanted to share this story with you, and I want to tell you, God bless you, and God bless the veterans, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to kind of follow up with what Mr. Taylor just talked to you about. I've got a poem that I'm going to read. I just decided I'm only going to read part of it. The end of the poem gets pretty dark. I know there's a lot of fourth graders here. I'm going to cut it off about halfway down, but the poem is called All in Vain. It was written by Ivan Heistan, and he wrote it on the field in Vietnam, September 13, 1967. It's quiet tonight on this lonely hill. The guns are hushed and the men lie still. There lingers a silence beyond all compare. The smoke from the battle looms in the air. Today they fought these daring few. Today they died for me and for you. They were your sons, Americans all. From all races and creeds, they answered the call. And what may I ask if you speak to that? I'm going to ask Gary McLemore to do a benefit.
This morning, it's
Hey, they cut it off.
honored here.
That's good.
President,
They just-
one of the things
dark.
Yeah.
it's painfully inside
Definitely, but-
my mind is that we say to one another, God bless America. I would have you to say, Americans, bless God for the great benefits, privileges, and all that He has given us to this country, to our men and women who have served, who have given their lives, who have given us the prosperity that we all enjoy today. Let us take a moment as we bow in thankfulness, not only for the veterans of our country, but also for the thankfulness that we still are one nation under God. Our great Heavenly Father, great Creator and Supreme Lord of all, we pray that you would bless the men and women of our military, of our nation, of those that are civil servants and those that are giving themselves daily on the front line to care and to protect, to guide and to direct the generations that are coming. Lord, as we have heard this morning from all of these people and from the fourth graders about this great country, may we truly give you the honor that you deserve for protecting, watching over, and being gracious unto us each and every day. And we ask all of these things in your precious Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
This we call solution to that. Thank you, Kelly. That concludes our ceremony today. It's my privilege to recognize all veterans and their families today. We serve you as Post 20 Commander with duties I am honored to uphold. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. And remember today of all days, say thank you to a veteran.
Thank you, Ted.
By telling him or her, thank you for making my life better.
I've got a voting us for both of you, so if you don't mind, be able to inscribe it in the car. So, okay, absolutely, right there.
It's very kind of you.
No, it's my pleasure.
Yes.
You've done so much for veterans. I get your emails all the time.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Would love to maybe either host you in DC. I'm still on Veteran Affairs, or we could sit down and have breakfast one day. I tried reading a little bit of your book. If you get it to me, I will read it on the plane.
Oh, great.
But the Beaver's Cage, the first battle, all those things, your questioning of leadership as it was going on and transitioning from the old guard to the new guard, it was interesting to look at. So I thank you very much for offering a
Thank
book.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll read it, then we'll sit down.
I'd love that.
Yes.
I'd love that. I'm writing a miniseries right now. I wrote a screenplay, hated it. And I said, no, I'm writing a miniseries. So the first one is going to be Beaver Cage, it's going to be like a band of brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to give the point of view of the officers and what they're going through, what we're going through, and what the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong, what everybody's going through. So if I can focus on each and every one of these 27 battles, then it's going to be a great series, just like the Band of Brothers.
I look forward to sitting down. I'm going to mingle real quick. Yes, sir. I'll be right back.
All right.
Andrew Karras, City Council.
Nice. Thank you for that.